Are you looking to understand the 2025 economic forecast better? Join us for our biannual fall economic webcast on November 14th and get the visibility you need to take action for the new year. Join us and Construct Connect, who will partner with the AGC and AIA to bring you insights from the industry's most trusted construction economists. This is a free online webcast and you can register today. The event is also registered with the AIA for continuing professional education credits. Register today at http://bit.ly/economic webcast. Again, that's http://bit.ly/economic webcast, and that address will also be in the show notes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Construction Record Podcast. I'm digital media editor Warren Frey with a special guest in my living room.
Lindsey Cole, editor of the DCN and JOC.
She's here for the VRCA Awards of Excellence, which don't happen till tomorrow. But in the meantime, we are going to jabber about the news to you, both west and east. Did you want to start first?
Sure. Yeah. You know what? I'll start with the east first, because then we'll merge in nicely to the west. We've got a lot of stuff on the go, actually, in the DCN newsroom. We had recently, Don Wall attended the Ontario Building Trades Convention, which we obviously attend annually. This year had a number of really cool stories coming out of it. One of them that is pretty newsy, for Ontario, but also spanning into, has some national implications, I suppose you could say, is the NextStar plant. It's an electric vehicle battery plant that's being constructed in Windsor. There's been some discussions over the past year about the work being carried out there and who is carrying out the work. So essentially there was concerns that a number of foreign workers were coming in and doing work that trades in Ontario/Canada have the expertise for. So it looks as though a good common ground has been reached between those who are in charge of making NextStar's plant, as well as the building trades. So they were able to come to a common ground when it comes to the amount of workers. They're saying right now there's maybe about 59 foreign workers employed at the NextStar site, which is in sharp contrast to what was originally said from November 2023 of 1,600. It was a tweet from Windsor Police, believe it or not, said that. So Sean Strickland, who is the head of the Canada Building Trades Union, was at the convention, and he assured those in attendance and obviously spoke to Don regarding the progress that's been made with this specific project, and how there isn't as many workers, foreign workers, as originally anticipated. Mm-hmm. So that's an interesting one. We are continuing, actually I feel like we just wrapped up our housing summit coverage in the east. So RESCON always puts on, for the last few years now, has put on a housing summit featuring a variety of experts and speakers talking about, well, you guessed it, Ontario's housing crisis. Mm-hmm. One of the stories that Angela wrote for us featured a variety of different mayors from Toronto, I believe Oshawa, London, and Guelph. And essentially they talked about all of their, limitations on what they're faced with when it comes to the housing crisis, as well as what they're trying to do to improve it. Be it trying to speed up approvals processes, trying to bolster different incentives, you name it. They did speak fairly candidly about their challenges that they're facing, and obviously working with different levels of governments comes with its fair share of issues too. So that's one of the stories that came out of the summit, and then another one was a speaker talking about how the math doesn't really equate when it comes to the housing crisis. Be it housing starts or you name it. There's just some barriers that don't necessarily add up. So I suggest you check out the DCN website. I'll leave you in suspense on that one, because it's kind of an interesting take on things. And yeah, for the West,
yes,
we've got quite a bit going on, don't we?
Well, most of it election related.
Yes.
It just came out today being Wednesday that we're recording this. I talked to pretty much everybody, not quite everybody, because one group didn't want to leave comment at this moment because, for obvious reasons, the election has not actually been settled yet. We don't know who's in charge.
Mm-hmm.
But I talked to the BCCCA, the VRCA, PCA, and the ICBA all about their takes on it. The most interesting one I thought was from Chris Gardner from the ICBA, who said, okay, sure, we don't actually know who's in charge yet, but how much is a recount going to change really? Like, it's probably what we see now is probably what we're going to get. And then the question becomes, David Eby of the NDP has to have a compromise with the Greens if he wants to be, if that's what the Greens choose to do. So what's he prepared to give up to do that? Because he has to give something up. And the ICBA, I'm not giving secrets away here, they officially endorse the Conservatives, so they're definitely no fans of the NDP government. But it's a very good point. What will they have to give up in terms of projects? The Greens have a very different view of like infrastructure than say the NDP does.
Mm-hmm.
And he also pointed out that people think, and I made this mistake talking to him, that it's a minority government. It'll be 12, 18 months till the next election. And he said, well, that usually doesn't happen if you look at the NDP and Liberal Alliance federally, or the last thing here with the NDP and the Greens. That lasted 2 to 3 years. I don't remember the exact date, but it was a lot longer you'd think it would be. So that's probably what will happen here. And he said, in the meantime, the Conservatives can kind of build up their candidate list, get some funding going on. They kind of got not so much thrust into this, but with the United going away, they were the only other choice. And so unlike the NDP, they didn't have as much practice with this, I guess is the best way to put it. So now they will have had some practice with this. And so they're his guys, and he's backing them for the next one too, obviously. I mean, that's, but the BCCA said that, they're going to work with whoever, obviously. And that was pretty much a common theme with everybody. And then the PCA said, well, we're just going to hammer away at our issue, which is project labor agreements. Doesn't matter who's in there. We want these things gone, and we'll talk to whoever's in there to make that happen. And then the VRCA, pretty much like the BCCA, said, we're going to work with whoever to make this happen. In the meantime, everybody was also, we've got our own initiatives. We got, we'll not quite work around, but we'll work on our own as well to make sure that the industry gets what it needs to get.
Yeah, like I think at the end of the day, no matter who's in power, the issues still remain the same.
Yeah,
Prompt payment's still an issue.
Yeah, they raised that.
Yeah, it's still going to be something they advocate for no matter what.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't get a straight answer of any of them.
No.
Frankly, when they did their, like, VRCA did these constructive conversations things where the three leaders, and now there's two, but at the time there was three, they didn't get a firm commitment to prompt payment out of any of them. They were all very supportive of the idea, but not, we're going to get in and it'll be our first priority supportive. So we'll see where and if this goes anywhere with whoever is in charge, which we'll find out on Sunday or Saturday, possibly.
Yeah, for sure. That's pretty uncertain times,
but
at the same point, kind of steady as she goes on industry issues.
And that's kind of the big one for the West that I can think of. We have another election coming up in Saskatchewan next week, so stay tuned for that one as well.
Oh yeah, that's true. The Western provinces are changing things up, I suppose.
Now we can talk about the VRCA Awards of Excellence. And after this, we're going to have Jeannine Martin, the president of the VRCA, and she'll talk about the awards too. But you've got a little bit input too.
Yeah, you know what? It's always been a real pleasure for me to be able to come out to BC and present at these awards, and have Warren with me covering it steadfastly. So it's been something we really look forward to, and it's interesting to see year to year the different projects, and obviously companies that are nominated. We won't give anything away, but there's some under the Silver Award winners. There's some notable projects that we've actually reported on quite frequently. Mm-hmm. For example, we've got upgrades and changes to YVR, the airport.
Yep. And the Post, which you saw in Lego Forum earlier this year.
That's right.
This is the real deal.
Yeah, this is the real deal. You've got different types of infrastructure upgrades. You've got wood fiber LNG. You've got waterfront upgrades. There's all kinds of different projects, and I think that really shows the breadth and talent of the industry in BC as you see it. Mm-hmm. You report on it all the time, Warren, and you see all these projects come together. Mm-hmm. But this is their chance to shine.
Yep.
And I do know the theme of the awards this year is kind of like the Oscars of construction.
Yep.
So we're looking forward to seeing who maybe wins Best Picture or Best Project.
Oh dear. All right.
And with that, we're super excited.
Yeah, and let's go to the interview with Jeannine. I'm here with Jeannine Martin, president of the VRCA, and Craig Larkins, also with the VRCA, and we're both going to talk about the awards of excellence. First things first, Jeannine, for the very few people who don't know what this is, who are listening to this, can you explain how it works going from silver awards to the gold awards, and what the awards are and how long they've been around?
Absolutely. Absolutely, Warren. So we have the 35th Annual Awards of Excellence this Thursday. We have been doing the Awards of Excellence since 1990. The Awards of Excellence is one of the ways in which we celebrate construction, which is one of the pillars of VRCA. Mm-hmm. So each year we bring together the industry to celebrate the excellence, innovation, project management. This year, a little bit more focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts of our member firms, but we come together in this year 17 categories. Mm-hmm. We had 91 submittals in these 17 categories. In addition, we will award Outstanding Achievement Awards. Mm-hmm. There are 5 Outstanding Achievement Awards for this year. Anyway, the project submittals totaled more than $2.9 billion this year. Mm-hmm. So it's a significant representation of the Vancouver community.
And I've been to quite a few of these myself, and you've been to a few yourself. But I know every year something gets tweaked, things get changed, things get adjusted and improved. What tweaks have you done this year? Because I'm pretty sure you have.
Indeed. And we actually have done quite a bit of refresh for this year. We've changed the venue. This year we're holding it instead of at the convention center, it's at the Park Hotel. Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful facility. And that we're going to have a fantastic setup. We're calling it the Oscars of Construction. There'll be a fantastic red carpet and just a fabulous evening. We're calling it Construction Black Tie, which apparently will be anything from jeans and a tuxedo jacket to maybe or a high-vis vest. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everybody, it's always interesting because there's always a couple guys who are just construction guys with capital C, capital G, and show up in their construction, and then other guys are like top to tail, basically. So it's not just guys.
We love it. We love the representation of our industry. Mm-hmm. Additional changes this year is we changed up our host. So this year, our host will be our own Director of Advocacy and Engagement, Craig Larkins, mm-hmm. and he will work together with Ivan Decker, a local yet Juno award-winning comedian who is mm-hmm. on a Netflix special, but we'll have some comedic entertainment interjected in the awards. In addition, Craig is quite good with the turn of the phrase also. So we should have a pretty fantastic evening.
And we have Craig with us. So Craig, why don't you tell us all about this new and exciting role within VRCA for you?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've gradually been hosting a few VRCA events here and there and really interacting with membership. So it's fun to kind of develop that professional side, but then that kind of fun side mm-hmm. when we do our events. So I'm really looking forward to this. Is actually my first time attending mm-hmm. the VRCAs. I was at town last year. So Ivan and I have come up with some, we did funny material, some jokes and such. He's handling the comedic side. I'm handling the more the procedural side, as I like to say, with a bit of humor injected. But it's just really cool to see, my role here obviously is advocating. We work a lot with government. Jeannine and I are out meeting mayors and such. And it's also really just cool to meet the people mm-hmm. and see the projects that we're advocating for. So being up there in front of 600 people and just really celebrating the built environment that we are advocating for, and seeing the smiles on their faces and just the interaction with the crowd and that community that we build. I mean, it's all business in the end, but if you really come to our events and you see like the AOE, there really is that partnership and people just really cheering on each other. Mm-hmm. It's a $27 billion industry, and they're all, as much as it is business, there is that mm-hmm. that sense of community, which I really enjoy, and it's kind of cool to see standing up on stage and just looking out into the crowd.
Sorry, go ahead, Jean.
Sorry, I was just going to chime in, and I think this is a real opportunity as we refresh things this year. Certainly, when I joined the VRCA about 1 year ago, one of the areas where the board wanted to see more activity was on the advocacy side, and Craig has been such an instrumental part of crafting our approach to that. And I think this gives some additional visibility to the importance of that role and its connection to our actual members and what they're doing.
And one other thing, you mentioned off mic, you have two special guests coming who are very well known to Vancouverites and the rest of the province. So you could tell me who those are.
Yes, absolutely. So we're excited to say we have one confirmed special guest. Well, actually, we have many special guests, 625 to be exact. Yeah. But we have some additional guests that are in the news quite a bit this week. So John Rustad, the Conservative Party leader, has confirmed his attendance, and we have invited current Premier Eby to the event. He has not confirmed yet, so we remain hopeful that he will attend and again see the amazing work that construction does in our community.
Okay, and this is going to come out right after, essentially like the day after the awards. So if people want to find out who won, where should they go to find that out? Other than the Journal of Commerce, obviously.
Absolutely. Craig, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, so all that exciting news, our Gold Award winners, the Outstanding Achievement Award winners, any of the awards that are handed out at the award ceremony will be available online on our website. Links and names and all that fun information. vrca.ca/AOE. We'll likely do a post on LinkedIn as well, just kind of highlighting the night, and we'll provide links to the winners and such there too.
Great. Thanks very much for joining me, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for listening to the Construction Record Podcast. You can hear us on Apple Music, Amazon, and Spotify, as well as at theconstructionrecord.libsyn.com and on the Daily Commercial News and Journal of Commerce websites. Thanks again for listening.